Yeah, well, anytime we can get it on tape, you know, an example on tape, we always use that example as a way to teach. You know, it's a rule about safety, and that's as a coach, you have to use it as a teaching tool about safety. You know, and I try not to get into whether it's right or wrong, but it's a rule about safety, and that's the only way we can go about it as teaching is a rule about safety.
It's going to be a judgment call too, by the on the fly by these guys. Are you concerned about that as a coach from a depth standpoint? You know what I'm saying?
Well, what it does, and I really believe this, it makes coaches on defense make sure you got 2 and 3 deep. You know, because it will affect you at some point in time in the season, and you know, you hope not, but there's a good possibility. So, you know, we always talk about in our room, in the secondary room, about, you know, that's a lot of time where it comes from, in the back end with those bang-bang plays.
Right.
We got to make sure we got depth back there.
Do you think did you ever look at Worley's hit? Did you see it?
I saw it out there. I couldn't tell you whether it was targeted or not. So the next guy better be ready to play.
What is the main teaching point when you're going through it, though? Because, you know, obviously people will be reading these stories and hearing this story. You're a guy that's coaching it right now. Is it hit pad first? Is it hit face mask? I mean, just what?
Well, it's really about targeting the head, you know, head and neck area. So if you're not targeting the head and neck area, you know, then it should not be a call. The problem is, as a defensive coach, you're trying to teach tackle up high so you can run through a guy. So, you know, what we don't want to do is start trying to get our head out of tackling, because now the shoulder pads really weren't made to be tackling against us. They were made for safety and protection too. So you know, there's a little bit of a contradiction in what's going on, I think, but you know, we have to follow the rules, so we better make sure we got 2 and 3 deep.
The idea that the Clowney hit could have been flagged last year is what the big debate right now is. What was your view of that Clowney hit?
I wouldn't think that would be a flag. When you're in the trenches, there's always face mask to face mask stuff. So,
I mean, you have 2 seniors in safety. How much do you depend on them to provide leadership and to kind of lead the way for everybody on defense?
Well, I think it's important to those guys that have played a lot of snaps here. Christian Bryan, C.J. Barnett, Corey Pitt-Brown. You know, those guys have been around this program a long time and have a lot invested in it. So I think it's really important that they show leadership, not just in the defense room, but throughout our football team. Help us with our young guys, because they, you know, obviously the Ohio State way, they know it. So it's important that their leadership comes out and you know, we had great leadership last year, and you saw where it got us. So I think guys are feeling that pressure to be good leaders this year.
What do you see from CJ?
CJ has, you know, I think in the last year has really gotten better as a fundamental player. I always thought he was a smart football player, but really better as a fundamental player. Really worked on his technique in the off season. You know, I think he's grown leaps and bounds. I still think he's got more to go.
Looks like you guys are working on a lot of younger guys in the nickel and dime packages. Anybody showing right now?
Well, you know, we didn't have Cam Burrows at the dime spot today, but he's normally a guy we'll look at as a back dime guy. You know, obviously Travis Powell had a great spring for us, or a really positive spring for us at nickel, and we're working Von Bell behind him right now. So, yeah, there's some young guys. We'll continue to grow those young guys, because the bottom line is you want to try to get some depth and get those guys in positions to play, so when it's their time to play the safety spots or the corner spots, they've already been on the field.
Was Cam just sick? Was he banged up?
Yeah. Cam Burrows picked up?
I'm not sure what he did today. I'm not sure at all. I couldn't tell you.
Jamie Thompson had to leave. Is he going to be okay? Or?
Yeah, I think he's got a slight strain.
What's been your impression of Von Bell so far?
Good, about like a freshman, about like most freshmen to come in, have good, you know, good days. Not necessarily good days, bad days, but good periods, bad periods. You know, and that's usually what freshmen do. They're up and down like a roller coaster. And but he's a competitor. I think he likes. I know he loves football. So he'll continue to get better. He's got some talent. It's now, you know, get that talent and technique to work together.
He's about it.